Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video, and today I'll be reviewing God of War Ragnarok and talking about what I like about the game and what I dislike about the game to see if you should play it. God of War Ragnarok is an action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studios. It released last year on the PS5 and the PS4 and is a sequel to God of War 2018. First, let's talk a little bit about the story and why we're here on another adventure with Kratos and Atreus. First, I want to say that I will only be giving a brief summary of the story because the game is heavily story-driven, and if you haven't played it, I would not want to spoil it for you. God of War Ragnarok starts 3 years after the events of the first game, where the Nine Realms are now feeling the repercussions of Kratos' actions from killing Baldur, as Midgard is now a cold and frozen wasteland and Ragnarok is approaching. We are also joined by an older Atreus who is curious to learn more about his giant heritage, but while doing so, he discovers much more. This leads to Kratos guiding Atreus to making his own decisions, but in the process, their relationship is tested and they must learn to trust each other on their adventure. This adventure is also mixed in with some great emotional moments, jaw-dropping moments, and crazy fights that had my eyes glued to the screen for every moment. I think that God of War Ragnarok does an amazing job at building upon its original story, and I like how it grows its established characters and introduces some really cool new ones. With all that being said, I think that the story is a great time and is a great continuation from the first game. This leads me to talking about the gameplay, and I think the gameplay is a seriously big improvement from its previous installment. The main issue I had with the previous game is I wasn't a complete fan of the Leviathan axe right away. I thought that the combat with the axe was a big change of pace from the original games, and I felt it was just slower when encountering enemies. It actually took me 2 playthroughs to beat the first game because I found combat to get boring after a while. I did, however, really enjoy the environmental puzzles where you had to use the axe to freeze gears and many more things, but it wasn't enough to keep me engaged at first. I did eventually come back to playing the game, and I'm glad I did because the story is already a big reason to play the game, but I also like how Kratos receives his Blades of Chaos halfway through the game. I think that this is one of the biggest reasons why I really enjoy playing God of War Ragnarok is because you don't have to wait long until you're reunited with the Blades once again. I feel like having 2 weapons this time from the start is a real big benefit, and I like how you can mix up the combat by switching to another weapon whenever your previous weapon's runes are on cooldown. The Leviathan axe has grown on me over time, but I still, however, just really love using the Blades of Chaos because it provides faster and more fluid gameplay and has a wider swing radius when I'm attacking enemies. Overall, both weapons are a really great time, and they're also improved by a new and improved skill tree. I think the skill trees in this game are a big improvement from the previous game, as now you'll have 3 categories to choose from in each weapon's skill tree. Each weapon will give you the choice to unlock a skill from the technique category, the range category, and the melee category. You will also have the option to toggle skills on and off once you've unlocked the skill. I think that this is such a great feature that allows you to adjust your skills to your preference. I also like how some skills have the option to be modified, where on the Leviathan axe, you can choose the skill to increase its damage, stun duration, or protection while using the skill. Another thing that made combat even better was, while playing the game, the pairing indicator is brighter and more visible to see now. You will also have an option to use your shield to disrupt enemies from attacking or to disrupt their guard when seeing a blue indicator. The game also has a red indicator for when enemies are stunned. Once an enemy is stunned, you can perform some awesome finishers that are brutal, and it reminded me of my time playing God of War 3. God of War Ragnarok also has a wide variety of enemies. One of my favorites was encountering enemies that had you use your weapon's elemental effects, as you would need to use the Leviathan axe's frost to weaken enemies shielded by fire, or you would have to use the Blades of Chaos's flames to weaken enemies shielded by ice. I also like how this game introduces enemies that have weapons imbued with Bifrost that deal a ton of damage to Kratos after being hit with their weapon multiple times. Another big improvement to God of War Ragnarok is its companion system. Atreus now has 2 new arrows that are way more useful, and they're called Sonic Arrows and Sigil Arrows. The Sonic Arrows will inflict extra damage to enemies on impact and can also build up the enemy's stun meter much faster. The second arrow, the Sigil Arrows, apply a status effect, allowing elements like frost and fire to be amplified. I had a great time using these arrows on my enemies, but my favorite use for them was being able to use them on the environment to solve puzzles. While exploring in this game, you can come across areas that will require you to look around for an object called Soundstone. After hitting a piece of Soundstone with a sonic arrow, you can unblock the area it was covering so that you can progress through the level. You can also unblock areas that will reveal a chest. The same thing goes for when using sigil arrows, but sigil arrows are different because after shooting a sigil arrow at an object, it will require you to use the Leviathan Axe's Frost or the Blades of Chaos's Flames to cause a chain reaction. Using these arrows had me constantly exploring for hidden areas and trying to solve puzzles around each level. I especially loved exploring every second of Midgard because Midgard is kind of like an open zone area where you can come across bandit camps, bosses, hidden areas, chests, and many more activities. The activity I liked doing the most was these mini bosses like Berserkers and the Hateful that always provided a challenging fight and a ton of loot after defeating them. Even the main story boss fights are another reason why you should play this game. If you like God of War's over-the-top epic boss fights, then this game provides that here too. Every boss fight left me with a smile on my face and filled me with adrenaline that had me pumped to see what was next. Overall, I think God of War Ragnarok is an excellent game. I did run into some minor issues, like I wish Atreus didn't give out hints so much when I was trying to complete puzzles, or it would be nice to have Kratos fully heal after entering a new realm, but these are just really minor issues and I still had a blast playing the game. To conclude this video, I do think that God of War Ragnarok is Sony's best PS5 exclusive, and if you're a new fan of the game or a returning one, this is 100% worth picking up, and I definitely recommend it. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and comment down below. Have you played God of War Ragnarok yet, or are you going to? And let me know what is your favorite PS5 exclusive down in the comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more gaming commentaries like this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.